of weird, a little bit of a weird tour for the Wallabies. What did you make of that tour as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, like there was some great things that came out of that tour, and then having some guys, some young guys that hadn't had a lot of opportunity, seeing guys get an opportunity to show what they had, and a lot of those guys stepped up. So in preparation for a World Cup, you want to be able to see as many players as you can play, and obviously the goal is to win those games. But experience is one of those things that the only way you get that is by allowing people the opportunity. And so as you said, there was some high highs and some low lows, but that's footy. My focus is always on the process and how I can get better and make sure that I give myself the best opportunity whenever I'm in the team, to be able to do the best that I can. So as we continue to build, we hope that this team, and again, being in camp now and being fortunate enough to be here and be around these guys, we just want to get better as a group and peak at the right time.
Just last one from me, Angus. Similarly, how are you going in your comeback? Have you avoided the dreaded preseason, or are you slotted back in there very much so at the task?
Yeah, no, it's been unreal, I guess. I came out of surgery early November, out of my cast, early November, and I sort of slipped straight back into TARS preseason, started up on the 7th of November. So it's been really good. And I guess I haven't done a preseason before, and I've never really been a part of a Super Rugby preseason except for my rookie year. So it's been good to have that time, I guess, to get that physical and mental, I guess, break and an upgrade. I feel like that time spent in the gym and stuff, where I could do the stuff that I couldn't do before, has been really valuable to me. And as a player, it's been unreal to get back to, I guess, that super club with some of my good mates and get better and keep advancing my physical side of rugby.
Angus, crazy that's like one of your first pre-seasons. I'm sure Quade's looking on with a bit of envy there. But are we expecting you to be fully sweet for the first Super Rugby match? I think that's Feb 24.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely be back for round one.
Yeah, and what's the first few days been like of this Wallaby camp? What have you been doing?
It's been a lot of admin. It's been pretty good. Like, it was good to, I guess, touch base with. We're all pretty tight in here, even though we come from different places within Australia. It's we've got a pretty tight group, so it's been good to see some of the boys I haven't seen in a while. And it's been really good to connect with some coaches and get some really crucial feedback and what will help the team, and I guess what will help us this year. Our end goal is to win a World Cup, so it's good to get that feedback and that individualised feedback for the season ahead.
And Quade, probably a bit more of an appropriate question for you, given you're back. With Wisey's departure, there's going to be potentially a new coach or a shuffling of the decks. What do you want from an attack coach or that kind of mindset of coaching anyway in a World Cup year, when maybe someone comes in for 8-9 months, or maybe someone else takes over that from within the group?
I mean, all you can ask for is someone that's hardworking and dedicated to making everybody around him better, and also for himself to come into this environment with the ability to want to continue to learn, but also be able to pass on some knowledge to the guys like myself and everybody else who may have the opportunity to be on that journey with him. So we're still as a player, I'm not too sure what's happening around that, and that's not a decision for me to make. But yeah, like we're all excited, and it's a huge loss. Having Wisey depart the group. He's a guy that I got along with very well. I loved his philosophy around the game. But as a man, he was a guy who had some great philosophies on life, and I always enjoyed having a yarn with him, and I'll continue to keep in touch with him throughout the year, and I'm sure that we'll touch base and catch up in and around these camps.
And just with your recovery, did you plan on being in Australia at the QUT for as long as possible, or any of that recovery be in Japan, or have you got an idea when you might go up there, even if you don't play?
Yeah, like, I mean, it's as I said, like we've been very fortunate to have this opportunity to be able to train at the QAS. Queensland Academy of Sports just been, very hospitable by giving us their space and their staff to be able to get us in the best possible condition to put our hands up and have the opportunity to go to a World Cup or just even participate in these camps here. So for me, it's more so around when I can run and my program becomes a little bit more generic, where I can go back to Japan and we won't have to rely so much on the equipment, and the staff that we have in place that have been able to look after this rehab process. Because it could have been a bit of a difficult process going back over there and having the full rehab done in Japan. But so as I said, I'm very, very fortunate to be in the position that I've been in this year.
Just a word on Noah. He's obviously in camp at the moment. What's your advice to him going into a year like this? Like, he's obviously been sort of in and out of the Wallabies side, but what do you say to him going into a World Cup year?
We've had conversations throughout my time being in the Wallabies, and all we speak about all the time is just about the growth mindset, having an open mind to things that other people might say. The guys, as I just touched on before, Wisey was a guy that we had great conversations with. So myself and Noah, he has things that I've been able to learn off him, and vice versa. So just being able to keep an open mind, continue to look to grow, no matter how well you play on the weekend. You got to start again on the Monday. So that's the mindset that I always have, and I continue to push. So if something bad happens in a game, hey, just continue to work. The journey and the process is more important than the outcome that you feel right there in that point. So good or bad, continue to move forward and work towards building yourself to be better and better each day.
And there's been some talk about whether he potentially looks overseas after the World Cup and that kind of thing, but with so much coming for Australian Rugby Lions in a couple of years and that kind of thing, like, what would your advice to him be, or would it just be to sort of do what you feel is best for you?
Of course, that's I'm Noah's friend and teammate first and foremost. So my interest is more so what's in the best interest of Noah. So whether that's to stay in Australia, to go overseas, he'll have people around him, his friends, family, advisors that will help him make the best decision possible for himself. And off the back of that, we need Angus here to make some better decisions around his kid and not wear extra small polo tops. I think he borrowed it off Nick White.
Sorry, this has been asked before. A question for Guy, just on, you've had long recoveries. How do you go about sort of staying positive mentally when you've had these sort of setbacks, and does it help having a goal like the World Cup on the mind?
Nah, mate, it's honestly, it's super easy, because for me, it's just about my habits, the discipline and the habits that I have daily. So, the easiest way for me to explain this was when I first come back into the Wallabies. I was out of the Wallabies for, I think, five or so years. And so I started to develop, instead of looking at things that motivated me, I just started to look at who I was as a person and who I wanted to be as a person. So that's a guy that's hardworking and disciplined. And so when you start to build those habits, and no matter what you have along the way, if you can get to a point where you can live at a certain level. Now, if you're living at a certain level every day, there's going to be things along the way that may or may not happen for you, but you're giving yourself the best opportunity because you're ready if an opportunity arises. And so for me, I look back at that period of time, and I was 4 months into a holiday, and then I got called into the Wallaby squad. And if I was in holiday mode and, I thought, this is the time that I'll just relax and, sit back, go drink alcohol, do these sort of things. And then I got a call from Dave and an opportunity to play. I'm basically gambling and flipping a coin, hoping that I go out there and do well. rather than knowing that, hey, I'm at this level, I'll go out there and I know the level that I'm going to play at and perform for my team. Doesn't guarantee that we win a game or anything like that, but this is what I'm going to provide to the team. So for me, I don't look for things that motivate me. More so, I just look at my habits every day, how I can build on them, how I can make better decisions. And when we're faced with choices, when it's a habit, it's a whole lot easier to choose the right thing.
Last one online, again, please, guys, and we'll go to Savannah in the room. If there's anything else.
I was going to say just one more from me. It was just fascinating insight, Quade. I was just, for Angus, having gone through your own kind of rehab, you came back for that one game, Burslow, then ruled out the spring tour. Do you look to kind of take those lessons that Quade's kind of implemented and some of those older guys around the squads just to kind of, I guess, keep centered and keep inspired to try me back by round one?
Yeah, 100%. I guess the rehab group within the Wallabies is pretty big at the moment. And as a young guy, you look towards those older guys within the squad that I guess have gone through that process or are going through that process, and you try and learn as much as you can. So in Quade's case, we both got lower leg injuries, so it's something that obviously there's stuff around his rehab and what he does around the squad that I can definitely take and put into place. There's been people within the squad who are similar positions to me that have gone through the same injury. So there's vast amounts of experience in the rehab area and in that sort of injury area that I guess I can definitely use to my advantage and also help me get back on the field as quick as I can, and also to the best of my ability and healthy.
Thanks, guys. Savannah, do you have anything?
Yeah, I know you guys said it was a bit of an admin week for the group, but Quade, obviously, how is the body feeling after the week? Kind of the week for you?
Oh yeah, well, my week hasn't changed a whole lot. I'm sort of, I break my days up. So I got Monday, Wednesday, Friday up in Brisbane, sort of from 11 till 1, which is the lower body rehab and my lower body weights, and then up here I do my upper body Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. So my week's pretty set in stone, and being able to come in here in and around that, get to hang out with the boys, spend time with the boys, just build on those connections. I think that's very important. But also, for me, it's very important to continue to stick at my process and don't waver from that. So being able to continue to get in a high level of work, but be around these guys and build on those connections has been a very important part. And yeah, there's been some admin, but there's been a lot of hard work that's gone on out in the fields. As you would have seen these boys yesterday, and there's been a bit of fun as well. Yesterday we had a whole lot of different games and just a bit of team building stuff, which was something I very much enjoyed. And I look forward to spending a bit more time with these guys over the next bit.
Cool. Angus, obviously, we know that there's a fair bit of depth in the squad too. I mean, from what you've seen this week, what do you think you need to do to make sure that you are, on that playing that field?
Yeah, there's multiple things, I guess. Taking a step at a time. I can't look too far ahead. My main priority at the moment is to get my body healthy, learn as much as I can, and I guess get myself to that round 1 of Super Rugby, where it is where it all begins, I guess. With if I want to push this for selection, I've got to play well in Super Rugby, and I think everyone has that in the forefront of their mind, that you play well for your super club, you give yourself the best chance of being on that plane. And as someone who's really young, I guess, just the main priority is just step by step. So at the current minute, I'm just trying to get myself back on the field to 100% fitness.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Be on the phone if you need anything else, or send this out as quick as we can. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.